Hello friends, today we are going to discuss theorizing terrorism and its causes. So before I discuss theorizing about terrorism and its causes, so welcome to my YouTube channel, that is IAS, IPS and NET Exam Preparation Study Center channel. So I am Deepam. So let's start the discussion today. The theory of terrorism is explained by the wide range of factors, and major theoretical approaches identify the terrorism as having personal, psychological, socio-economic, historical, religious, political underpinning. At the outset, it must be understood that terrorism is a complex issue with multifaceted dispositions. Its analysis requires insight that avoids of simplistic casual modeling of social phenomena. However, for our convenience, we shall delineate some important factors have been utilized and analyzed tools to enhance the academic understanding of terrorism. Broadly, such causative factors can be summarized as under personal and psychological causes, political causes, economic causes, religious causes, spatial and dimension of terror, domestic and international, personal and psychological causes. A number of analysts believe that terrorism systems out of personal causes. Theodore Arnold propagated authoritarian personality theory, in which he argued that a person drawn towards the right wing ideologies and extremist violence due to paranoid worldview of misanthropy and rigidity. He thus attributed act of violence akin of terrorism to psychological abnormality or unique pathological personality. However, cities argued that terror acts are merely not pathological and cannot be solely attributed to mental paranoia. They are the opinion that most of terrorist acts committed by the extremely sharp and mentally sound individuals, besides psychological disorders, do not explain why only some people suffering from such disorder commit such acts while others do not. Many analysis shows that terrorist is educated, employed, not poor. He or she has analyzed the world view and calculated outcomes by its willing commit terror of martyrdom or cause. Another theoretical formulation which could be possibly explain the transition of individual towards political extremism of terror of social networking theory. According to this formulation of individual romanticize community ties and family kinship and affiliation and maintain and continue social interaction, which is the due to course of translates into collective action. The process of absorption in this case is not instantaneous and initially being based upon the shared identity and later doctrination into the group. Another theoretical underpinning which is seek to explain why individual and drawn towards extremism include the act of terror and frustration aggression theory, which is posits that in a state of alienation from access resources and perceived towards, an individual is likely to exhibit behavior and sequences which is largely negate an existence of established code of conduct. There is also belief of collective victimhood, which is the potential of terrorists willing to kill and get killed for political causes. Much of the literature on terrorism attests the political causation of terrorism. Terror acts are committed by some groups and community sectors against the state with purpose of making the state negotiate or accept their political demands. Terrorism analysts argue is deliberate strategy employed by groups using the violence and weapons to convey their grievances to the state and simultaneously negotiate outcomes. Moreover, directing the violence towards the state instrument, these groups intend to expose the vulnerability of the state and government in power, protecting the citizenry and thus rob the state its legitimacy. Perhaps the most illustrative instances of this theory of typology of terrorism is inherent in anti-colonial movement. In recent times, ethnic violence has emerged as a huge challenge to the state authority. The anti-colonial movement in various parts of the globe, especially the 20th century, had stemmed out of political oppression of the colonized by the colonizer, although Marxists have theorized the colonialism as an economic system. Lenin theory, imperialism. Most post-colonial theorists argue that colonialism was predominantly a political system. In the writing of the scholars like Jean-Paul and Strata, Albert Memmi, and Frances Fanon, and Cabral, it becomes clear colonialism was a political problem, and the colonized could only overthrow it through the violent means. These writers became the prophets of the justifiers of many anti-colonial movements that used violence. Thank you friends. If you like my video, kindly share it and like it. In the next chapter, we will discuss the economic causes. Thank you.